I guess we can start anyway. People will come in if we got to start over. We will. What's up, y'all? Well, what's up, y'all? It's Mandella Eskia, aka Mr. Soul Imagine, aka Black Zeus, and Soul Imagine. You here with the homie Greg of BeyondComics.tv, and tell them about yourself. Like, what do you do? How just what's going on over there in the BeyondComics.tv world?
What's up, guys? Graig from BeyondComics.tv, comic book artist, writer, and director from Beyond Comics. It's such an honor to be here with you, man. I really, really enjoy your So Imagine videos. Those are the best cartoon
Thank you.
throwbacks, man. They are so good. So I'm really excited to be here and, meet the fans and say hello to everybody and stuff like that. And especially for me who grew up on watching all those classic cartoons, and you're even bringing some back from like not only the 90s but the 80s, and that's
Yeah.
such a blast to see you introduce that to a whole new generation of people that'll actually get them interested to watch the real thing.
No, this is true. This has actually been fun to do, and I think to me, I'm just excited because I have a real live comic artist here, and all I do is talk about cartoons and comics and video games and sometimes music. Well, a lot of times music. So to actually have a real live comic artist is super duper cool. So, I think it's cool to have you here. I want to ask you some questions. You ask me some questions. We're both
Sure.
nerds. um Draws on the outside, that's my favorite thing to say. Yeah, shout it out, shout it out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
His is awesome, man, dude. I'm
yeah,
telling you,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
So mad.
So we spoke a little bit earlier about our mutual respect for what we both do. um what got you into creating comics? Because I used to
Oh,
do a little bit of comic book artisting myself when I was a kid.
really? That's awesome.
Scribble scrabble, a little scribble scrabble. Yeah. So what got you into
That's
what
how I
made you start?
started too, man.
Really?
I'll tell
So
you,
what
like,
made
when
you
I
take it to this level where it's like this is what you're promoting, and I got this book, and I'm at this Comic Con, and I'm doing it like this?
Oh, absolutely. It's a great question, man. I'll tell you, like, just growing up watching all the cartoons and everything like that was so inspiring, especially when I'd see superhero cartoons. And then as I started to, continue on with my journey and stuff, I became the video game poster artist for Play Game magazine. And I drew like Sonic the Hedgehog as like an independent, video game magazine. I was like 15 years old at the time, man. And then boom, fast forward to Image Comics and Spawn. Thanks to Todd McFarlane. Shout out to him. He officially hired me and gave me my start in comics as the featured double page poster artist for Spawn issue number 30. So I drew that double page spread of Spawn fighting Angela, which is like really my first official breakthrough. And Todd and I actually made a video talking about that being my first official hired paid job in comic books on my social media. So if the fans jump on board or they follow back and forth, you could see some of those videos and stuff. And that led me to kind of start creating a new Beyond Comics universe of new superheroes because I wanted to make new superpowers and new storylines and things that we haven't seen yet. Not like another guy who runs fast or another guy who's strong, but something we haven't seen yet. So I created the Beyond Comics universe of upcoming new superheroes, and this one is out right now for digital download. You could also even get the printed one. It's called GEKIDO, and that's
Okay.
co-created by writer Brandon Wilson and me, the artist Graig White. Over here, it's a new superhero character, and it's an exciting kind of thing. So to actually have it, both in print and then also you can see some of the art here, and then for download, if people go to BeyondComics.tv they could actually download the comic over there as well. So just some of
Okay.
the drawings and the art over here and things. It took a long time to draw because I drew everything by hand and then digital color and then
Mm-hmm.
switched to digital like that. So you can kind of see all the
Yeah.
characters and
Yeah.
stuff. So
That's cool.
that's an exciting thing. And then we're working on also like these other characters called Codename Justice and
Mhm.
Ravendactyl. And then I got this idea and I was like, yo, let me put and actually cast celebrities officially in the comic books as characters like you would a movie. So I literally busted doors down to get to some of the celebrities and ended up getting Ice-T's wife Coco as a character, and
Wow.
then the star of Mortal Kombat, Kari Tagawa, he plays Shang Tsung. So he's our character, Lord Shinryu. Then you can see some of the other
Wow.
characters here, and that was like
Yeah,
a real blast to be able to get
that's
them
an
on board.
interesting idea to like cast actual actors in those roles. That's super cool.
It was
What
so cool. And
wait, no, continue and then I'm
oh,
gonna ask
oh
you
no,
a
I was
question.
gonna say like Carrie Tagawa is so cool because like he'll call me up like at 2 o'clock in the morning from overseas. He'll be like, Greg, are you ready to do your meditation? And I was like, oh my God, okay. And I'm like half asleep and I'm like getting up to it. That's the picture of him too, like where we met up together.
Wow.
Man. He's the coolest dude, man. He is so awesome. And then some of the other celebrities like Stan Lee before he passed, God rest his soul, and Todd McFarlane, and we got Mark Hamill holding my comic book over there. you
That's
know?
super duper dope. Mark Hamill, the voice of the Joker. If y'all
Yes,
watch all of my stuff, I started doing like I blew up doing Batman. Like blew not
that's
blew up
right.
that. Those are the videos that like catapulted me first, and it was Batman the animated series. So like that's super duper cool that you got to meet with. Like I haven't done Mortal Kombat yet, but I want to do the whole movie, like so imagine for the
Oh,
entire.
that'd be so cool,
Yeah,
man. Wait,
yeah.
wait, give the fans a sample of what you do for a second on the Batman thing, for example.
What was my star for Batman? It's like, so imagine you billionaire, playboy, philanthropist Bruce Wayne, and they done stole your chick and turned her into a cat lady. So now you gotta go get her back. And this old foolish ass super duper monster thing is in the way. Now you gotta fight him. Stuff like that, yeah. That's just off the top of the head. When I first started doing them, I was freestyling them, and they were cool, but when I started writing them down, they were a lot more fluid because I could get all the jokes out. So that's I started just like freestyling. Then I went from
That's
that
awesome.
to actually using my actual recording equipment because I have recording equipment in my
Oh,
crib so that I
cool.
can record. So when I record music, I record it here and I just send it out to engineers. It makes it easier.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
so it's exciting too because that's like I remember when I stumbled upon some of your clips and
Mm.
you were talking about like so imagine these guys wear their underwear and their trunks on the outside of their pants. I was like dead. I was like dying. I was on the floor rolling, man. It was so great. you know, and
They're fun
it
to
was
make.
great. It
Yeah.
brought it back.
You know, it's funny. I tell people when I make my some of my comedy. I don't mean. I guess you call it comedy. For me, it's just narrations. But I sometimes I'm just trying to make me laugh. Some of them I just make because I want to laugh, and sometimes I genuinely laugh at the stuff I make. But I do want to ask you. You
Oh,
said
sure.
you grew up doing working in comic books and drawing and turning it into like an actual thing. But what was who was your like favorite superhero growing up? Like that
Oh, that's a
your
great
favorite
question.
not your favorite superhero to draw because we all draw our favorite superheroes. Yeah.
That's a great question.
Mhm.
That's a good one. I think my top superheroes that I feel like they all are the winners, but separate from the ones I've created, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, those have been like my three top favorites that I've never stopped drawing. And I even redesigned them in their own original style that I've never shown anybody yet. So if I ever get the opportunity as I'm trying to grow my platform and grow my comic book community, maybe to do a crossover in the future with one of the big comic book companies like Marvel or DC. I would love to do a crossover and show them my design and my version of those characters. It really
Okay.
makes them, I feel, more true to the name of the character.
Hmm. No, that's super duper cool. And there was another thing you said earlier. You was like, um, that the comics, the in the comic world that you created, um, that you feel like is unlike anything we've ever seen. What makes it so different than like the mainstream comic industry characters?
Definitely, definitely. Well, I think the key factor is I noticed there's been a shift in the world. Everyone is torn apart. Everyone's going against each other. And I said, if I could bring people back together again from all sides through the creation of art and kind of the camaraderie feeling of coming together to support each
Mm,
other instead of tearing down, that would be like such a dream come true for me. So I was like, well, what kind of heroes can I create? And I think a lot of my heroes deal with like anxiety and depression and injuries and struggling to find purpose. That's hard these days. And a lot of the big comic book companies don't really address that anymore. I've noticed they kind of
Mhm.
shy away from controversial stuff. So they kind of aren't really dealing with today's audience. And I said, well, let me show my characters and how they have to overcome those struggles and try to find purpose again, things that make them
Mhm.
feel like waking up in the morning, because life is very challenging and hard. So if you can kind of get through loss, get through suffering, and really do something powerful. My motif and the message I try to create in my comic books that are coming out is that you could be a real life superhero just by helping one other person in need. That then you're a hero. You've done it.
Mhm.
So kind of putting that in there, but it's done very subtly. The You wouldn't notice it. Like when you read the comic books, it's heroes who are struggling with some of these issues and trying to fight to save the world and bridge the gap between the past, present, and future using special technologies and different kind of ancient mythological artifacts and alien tech to bring together this new superhero. Like there's a character in here. I'll show you that these are some of my characters over here. So
Mhm.
we got this guy over here named codename Justice, not out yet.
Okay.
This is the new version. So that's codename
Mhm.
Justice. And he fights to get to the truth behind the corruption and the conspiracy theories and figure out what's fake and what's real and
Okay.
trying to, like hit that home. And he starts out as a very badly injured character who has to rebuild his body and rebuild his mind. It's important.
Wow.
And then
Okay.
thanks, man. And then
Okay.
the other character's name is Ravedactyl, Life Beyond Death. And what if this character actually comes across ancient mythological armor that holds the secrets to our past, present, and future, and he has to utilize it to kind of save the world. And a lot of very unique, different lines of powers and different things that I haven't seen done. So I tried to embody that classic feel of what we grew up with and then implement it into a new way and twist it around so it has shocks and twists and turns and surprises. Like when I was writing the movie scripts, which I had recently finished for these, I
Mhm.
must have been like 100 different drafts over a few years that were about 120 pages each at least, and trying to continually kind of go nonstop until I could perfect it. It's like kind of like mathematics to me in my head. It's like trying to find this code I have to crack until it actually hits.
Mhm.
That's the thing I think that makes a good writer and artist. So as a writer and an artist, I try to figure out the being objective, like I don't just like anything that I do. I'm very critical. I'm probably the most critical on myself. So I try to figure out if I could be a good editor, then I know what works and why, and what doesn't work and why, and then I can make it better. And that's what I keep
Mhm.
striving for, always trying to improve.
Okay. No, that
Like
makes sense. That's super cool.
thanks, man. And how about you? Like, what was some of your favorite cartoons and stuff growing up as a kid and looking back?
A lot of the stuff I do, but I would say there's stuff that I don't do that I like growing up that I think is really like there's a cartoon that people don't remember. It's called Mucha Lucha. I used to
Oh,
like that. It was like about these it's like this Mexican wrestling school and the
yeah,
kids
yeah,
all had
yeah.
special superpower moves and they had to learn their moves and it was funny.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
I would say that the cartoons that I really grew up on that inspired me is like Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series, X-Men, Gargoyles,
Cool.
anything DC did animated, I watched as a kid. Um, Animaniacs. It was like so many cartoons that I grew up on that I watched. Dexter's Lab.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that was
yeah,
great. I love that.
yeah, that was my stuff. Doug. I
Yes,
watched a lot of cartoons because I remember we had the Cartoon Network, and so I'd watch a lot of cartoons. So I'd watch new age cartoons and I watch
cool.
old cartoons. So
That's
like
awesome.
the Centurions
Oh,
and
the
the
Centurions was,
Impossibles would be on, and with
yes.
Godzilla and Godzuki, stuff like that. Like I'd watch all of
Yes.
that stuff. Yeah, I'd watch all that stuff.
Those
That
were
was
best,
all
man.
me.
I'll tell you that one of the first ones I had ever seen as a little baby were the rebroadcasts of the Max Fleischer Superman, the very first
I remember those.
1941
Yeah,
cartoon. And
yeah.
that was a lot of people don't know they actually supposedly invented Godzilla. or Gojira in that, because that they used to be called Gojira in Japan. They translated it to sound like Godzilla here when they rewrote it and
Yeah.
spelled it, which is
Mhm.
interesting. So that was wild. But I mean, I talk a lot about that stuff, especially like on my website at beyondcomics.tv, and if people
Mhm.
go there to download the comics or follow us on social media, they have a chance to be drawn in our upcoming comic book. By the way, I didn't want to forget to say. So that'd
Mhm.
be really cool just by following, which is great. And but yeah, like the cartoons were so good back then. And then, watching the Batman the animated series, like you said, really captured that 1941 imagery,
It did, yeah.
like the Max Fleischer Superman. It had that vibe, that film noir, feel to it and stuff. I'm excited to see the new Spider-Man noir with Nicolas Cage. That should be
Yeah.
cool.
That sounds super duper good. I mean, like, I can't wait to
Yeah.
see it too. I'm not a big fan of anything Sony, but let me not say that. I want to see it too. Um,
That's
so
cool.
before we get up out of here, thank you for pulling up and kicking it with me. What are
Yeah,
some?
thank you, man.
What is who? Give your shout outs.
Oh
Who you
yeah,
want to shout
sure,
out?
man. So if you guys want to like follow on social media, you can literally just follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Greg Weich, GraigWeich. Not
Mhm.
Craig, but Greg with a G, and then Weich, Weich, and then that's on Instagram and Facebook, and also on TikTok, and then on my Twitter or X, we got it as Beyond Comics, and on YouTube, BeyondComics.tv. So just Beyond Comics TV on YouTube or Beyond Comics on Twitter or X, and that's they can follow there. And if they follow and they share it, they'll get it automatically entered for a chance to try to potentially have their name drawn in a comic book if they like. So that gives them like a little
Oh,
opportunity to see their name appear, maybe graffitied on the wall in the comic book or something fun.
okay, that's super dope. Y'all make sure y'all do that. Um, Greg, thank you for pulling up and thank you for kicking it with me. And so imagine we got to go to sleep because I got to teach the boy. All right,
To be
y'all.
continued. So
Peace.
imagine, yes.
Yeah.
Peace.
Uh, do we do it?
I think it's still recording. I see it there.